Once upon a time, there were two very sinister storytellers, and their names were Fear and Self-Doubt. Now, Fear and Self-Doubt were very prolific, and the world was flooded with their stories. And their stories all had a common theme. They were about the actor that doesn't show up for the big audition. They were about the elevator pitch that doesn't get made, even though you run into the TV exec and you have the great idea of the century. They're about the screenplay that doesn't get submitted to the big contest. They're about the social media connection that doesn't get made. They're about the thread comment on social media that you have the knowledge to share to really help someone posing a question, but you're worried about the ridicule that you might receive. They're about not living your best life as a creative. And so there's only one way to counteract the stories that Fear and Self-Doubt are putting into the world, and that's to stay motivated and to stay inspired. So are you ready to seize every possible opportunity you can to tell your stories? Welcome back to another episode of Every Day is a Story All Its Own. I've really been looking forward to doing this video because in my 30 years of working with creatives, I've seen a lot of really talented people fall by the wayside due to fear and self-doubt. So there are a lot of things that I've done over the past 30 years to help me keep going, because you're going to have way more defeats than you are victories. There's going to be more things that don't work out for you than do. So how do you keep going in those tough times? Well, I say a day at a time. There are things that you can do every single day, things that you can keep in mind that will keep you working towards your goals, that will really help you appreciate the victories when they do come and keep going in the lean times, because we all have periods where it just seems like nothing is working. And then all of a sudden, a lot is happening. So here's what I do. One of the first things that I do is that I blog. 2,000 words or less is a great discipline to have to talk about what you do as an actor, what you do as a writer, what you do as a director, or other kinds of creativity that you have. And there are more and more opportunities than ever out there in the world to place your blogs. Now, I started off with a book review blog, and it really helped me learn to be a writer, analyzing other people's writing. I do the same thing with TV shows and movies when it comes to screenplays. I watch actors very carefully. So translating that information into a blog, into that small, concise package, is a great way to let people know about what you know. And now I write for people like Creative Screenwriting Magazine, I write for Stage 32, and I really have an opportunity to share my knowledge. And now it's beginning to create opportunities for me because people see what I know and they want to work with me. Now, another thing that is absolutely essential is networking, and you need to try to network every day. Now, I'm an extremely shy person. I'm much happier when I'm home here creating in my home studio, but I also love to act, I love to direct, and I love to teach. And those are things that you cannot do when you're all by yourself in your house. And so you have to get out there. So networking is a great way to get out there, to make connections, to stay comfortable talking about what it is that you do. Now, when I network, I use several social media platforms. I post videos, I post pictures, I post different announcements, links to blogs and other things that I've created. And there are 3 things that I do every day that I'd like to share with you now. First, I try to make a new connection every day through social media. Second, I talk about a project that I'm working on, a project that I just finished, or a new idea I have that I'm starting to implement, that I'll be working on. And then people can see how that project develops as I go. And people love that. They love to see what you're doing, that you start something and you follow through and you finish it, and then to see what that thing is. The third thing that I do is try to find a new outlet for my work every day, be it as an actor, a director, or a writer. And every other day, too, I practice my craft. Acting is a muscle, directing is a muscle, writing is a muscle. You will not get better unless you do it every single day. And there's 2 quotes that I love to keep me motivated as I'm doing these things each and every day. One is by William Butler Yeats, and it says, "Don't wait for the iron to get hot. Make it hot by striking. And the second one is by Teddy Roosevelt, and it says, do what you can with what you have where you are. Well, the great news is this is a do-it-yourself age. Technology is getting cheaper and better all the time. We're able to do things that we're not able to do in the past, and we can move on and really make progress in our careers, in our work as creatives by following these things. So I want to talk about a couple of other things that are really, really important to get out there, to combat fear and doubt, and to stay motivated and inspired. Now, one of those things is being authentic. Now, in some ways, this is the most important thing that you can do, and it's also the hardest thing that you can do. It means no masks, no artificiality. You put yourself out there honestly, truthfully, and you let what happens. The truth of the matter is, not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to hire you. Not everybody's going to like the work that you're doing. What we do is super, super subjective. But when you're authentic, when you show up and you own your story, as Dr. Brene Brown said when through a TED Talk several years ago, and I'll put a description down below, she really brought a lot of attention to this idea of authenticity. So be as genuine as you can be. The other thing, too, that keeps me going is the idea of following your bliss. Now, the sign is back behind me, and the person who first said this, Joseph Campbell, also his picture's back behind me. Joseph Campbell took it from the Sanskrit Sat Chit Ananda. It's the idea to do the thing that you cannot not do, as the president of the Joseph Campbell Foundation likes to say. Find that thing that if money was no object, if there was something that you could do day in, day out, where time melts away and becomes what's called Einstein time, really comes into play, and it's the thing that you love, that when you don't do it because you're too busy or you're on vacation so you stop doing it, you can't wait to get back to it. That's your bliss. Now, there's a lot of confusion about bliss. Bliss does not mean that it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean that it's going to be happy all the time. For creatives, being authentic and putting ourselves out there every day in so many different ways, there are bound to be disappointments. There are bound to be obstacles. There are bound to be things that don't work out or hurt our feelings or make us feel the fear and fear the doubt, sometimes more than we would other times. And so go back to the fundamentals of doing each one of these things day after day. Now, while you're practicing your craft every single day, think about what Malcolm Gladwell in the book Outliers identified as the 10,000 hours. To get really, really good at something, you need to put in 10,000 hours. Now, this isn't a hard and fast or magical number. Nothing happens when that 10,000 hits immediately. But when you reach that point, which averages to about 10 years of work at about 40 hours a day, then 40 hours a week, rather. I wish I had 40 hours a day sometimes. But anyway, you will start to feel a confidence. You will have a competence. People will look at you and your work in a different way. Your resume will build itself brick by brick, credit by credit, opportunity by opportunity that you seize. And when that 10,000 hours comes, really, really great things start to happen. Now, another really important thing comes from the playwright Samuel Beckett, who said, try again, fail better. Just keep going. Everything that we create, every audition we go on, every play or screenplay that we direct, everything that we write and put out into the world that then gets judged and receives feedback is an opportunity to learn. Seize that opportunity to learn. Try again, fail better. And really, what is failure anyway? Failure really is not moving from the start of the journey, from the start of the idea or the goal or the project to its full conclusion. And that space in between is the gap. But here's an amazing secret. That gap, that place between where you are and where you want to go, that is what all great stories are made of. So live your story, live your best life, live your truest self. Be authentic, follow your bliss, put in your 10,000 hours, and you will stay motivated. You will stay inspired. Put yourself out in the world. Network. Let people know what you're doing. If you're an actor, director, or writer, I strongly suggest that you start a profile and start to interact with people at stage 32. There are also opportunities there to learn, to write, to comment on people's threads about the knowledge that you have, and great opportunities come through those kinds of things. And that's really all I wanted to say today. I'm going to follow this up on Friday with a top 10 list of my favorite motivational and inspiring books and documentaries, so look forward to that. So go out today and do 3 things after you watch this video. Make a new contact on social media. Share with the world a project that you're working on. And 3, try to find an opportunity to place one of your projects. Don't wait for the iron to get hot. Don't wait for the phone call. 15 years ago, I started an acting school, or co-founded an acting school, and co-founded a theater company because I didn't want to wait around. I had been working for 15 years as a creative. I had a lot of ideas, I had a lot of theories, and I was building my talent. I was working towards my 10,000 hours. I was pretty much there. And so I wanted to go in a new direction. So we started the school, we created a bunch of classes in acting, writing, and directing, and we didn't just want to teach, we wanted to be practical. We wanted to go from theory to practice, and so we started the theater company. 15 years later, the theater company is still going strong. It's producing this video. It's reached over 40,000 people with its works, new works, and all kinds of great things. I also didn't wait around for the perfect opportunity. I took roles where I could get them, in plays, in small films, to learn my craft. I directed anywhere where people would let me direct. I directed something. I taught classes in community centers, in libraries, even in health clubs, and in dance schools. And that was a great opportunity. Working with dancers who communicate physically taught me a lot about that, and not always to rely on the word. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. You know what's what's coming up, and we're always looking forward here on the show to making things better, to help you out. So please, if you're enjoying these videos, like them. Definitely comment. Let me know what you want me to talk about here, what you've learned so far on the journey. Please subscribe. That helps us out a lot. And also click the bell for notifications when there's a new video. We're up to 2 videos a week now, which we're excited about. And we'll see you soon. Keep telling your stories. Keep working towards your 10,000 hours. And remember, every day truly is a story all its own. Take care. Bye now.